Hi guys, so today we're removing the front brakes and replacing them for new brake pads. As you can tell, probably can't tell, but you'll see later on that the brake pads are worn out and within a month as well, so it's a bit depressing. But let's take the wheel off and it's off. So wheels there, axle stand there on a support beam from here. And let's check the suspension components for any play. Okay. So the part I was checking is an anti-roll bar link or a sway bar link, which helps to reduce the body roll of a vehicle during fast cornering or over-rolled irregularities such as a pothole. This diagram shows how the sway bar links are connected to a sway bar, which connects opposite wheels together. I was checking if there is a lot of play in them as they're meant to be as stiff as possible, but they gave me some resistance, so they're still suitable. It retracts back, so that's good. Components. Playing the components. Oh, that's solid. This is a tie rod end, and it is the connection between the axial joint and the wheels, transmitting force from the rack gear to the steering knuckle. So it's the suspension element that is responsible for steering. It's also the part where you would adjust your tracking or wheel alignment on your front set of wheels. As the tie rod end was not budging at all, it's still in fantastic condition. That's alright. Yeah, simple suspension setup. So we got the front here. Yeah, they're worn. They're very expensive drilled discs. I recommend them. However, your pads will be eaten very quickly because it'll get eaten between that. I'd rather replace pads than, replace discs, because the normal traditional discs, flat ones, flat surface ones, they heat up and then you can't brake. These you can always brake, no matter how harsh you drive, how harsh you brake and stuff like that. You'll always be able to brake. Your brake pads will be eaten a lot though. That's one downside. However, it doesn't really affect me because I don't mind. As long as I can brake from a high speed, I'm happy about that. I've got an entire new shock absorber along with springs. All factory. I'm not modifying I'm not lowering my car like a typical quarter driver that thinks he's fast. I just kicked it. Rip quarters, but that's true. Now I need to remove the caliper, bolt here, simple as same as the rear. Disconnect the caliper, take this off, the little accessory, pull it off, slide it off, pull the cylinder back, take the pads off, replace. Simple, shouldn't take long. So what we need to do now is T45 in there, but that's going to be hard to untie. Actually, I'm going to start from the bottom as it's way easier to start from the bottom. Make sure the keys pressed in properly and then twist. I don't want to strip the screw, so I'm going to use both my hands to do that. So I took the pads off from the cylinder and the caliper. There's still quite a bit left of the pad. However, sometimes it doesn't eat them up evenly, as you can tell from the outside pad. Still a bit left. However, I'm still going to replace it because 1-2 more emergency stops and my braking power doesn't feel the same anymore, so I'm replacing all of it. It's a lot of brake dust. Clean that out obviously with a channel special toothbrush, brake cleaner, brake clean that, push the caliper back. You know the process of cleaning. I'll show you how to push that caliper back, the front ones, because they're different than the real ones. So we cleaned everything out now. What we need to do is get these, attach it to that part there and here, squish it, push it back, and it should work. And that's pretty much it for the process of pushing the caliper back. The cylinder here, it's not a hard job at all actually. It's pretty easy. Clean the inside out with brake cleaner. It's pretty dirty, and put some grease on it, and yeah, it's a special one. It's called this Ceratec. It's for brakes. Look at that, that's dirty. That's why you need brake cleaner. Clean it all out after you're done, because brake cleaner does this. It's pretty weird, funny. Look, it decreases it. I know it's a dirty fluff, but look, it's cleaned out pretty much. Majority of them, I'm just gonna get clean towels, clean it all out. Get the wire brush, brush it. Done pretty much, and then just reattach everything. I took these ones, highest setting, put it like that here. Literally grip it. Oh my god, it's really difficult to hold up the camera and record and do this. Still learning, lads. Put it like that. There we go. Put it like that. Squeeze it really hard and it should slowly go in. So this one's more easier to do than the back, and it's hidden. Clean it all out with brake cleaner inside. I'll spray brake cleaner on that as well, because that's just brake dust from the pads, and pretty much done. And then just put the special Ceratec grease on it and on the pads, which are there. Yes, I'm downgrading from Brembo's, but because I use pads in a month, I don't see the point of buying expensive pads if they're not actually any different, to be fair. So the most difficult part about this process is putting the caliper side pad and the cylinder, because these springs are so stiff, it's hard to put it back on, but we somehow managed to do it, so success here. Voila, put grease on that, on these, perfect fit in. One more thing, do not touch the inside of the pad. If you touch it with grease, you can't use brake cleaner to clean it off, because brake cleaner will decompose the pad and break it. I'd rather you, well, it's better if you literally just go for a drive, apply the brakes, you know, harshly, slightly for the, well, make sure first of all they're nice and they're working before you go out racing and stuff, because if they're not working and you try to brake, you know you're going to come across a lot of sorts of problems, and the worst one is crashing and potentially losing your life. So brakes are very important, especially on high powered cars. This ain't what, this is 150 horsepower, so it's not a lot, however it's enough to cause damage at high speeds. Make sure the pads, the brakes that you apply first work correctly, but then when you put grease on them or something, such as here I did slightly, I smudged a bit, just apply them. You know, it's going to wear out, because it's not going to be through all the layers, it's going to be on that surface layer. You know, 2-3 brakings should be gone. So yeah, it won't grip properly for the first couple brakes because of that grease there, but it will get back to normal, so don't worry about that. Everything is back put together. This one was pretty easy as well. I tightened these screws, put some thread locker, and put some of that grease there on the bolt itself, and now it's put back together. It works perfectly fine. We go for a test drive after the coolant, well, the radiator changes, and obviously the brakes, to test the brakes and everything. Need to make sure the thermostat heats up so I can bleed it. But we're gonna do a couple of launches, probably, maybe not, we'll see. Sorry for the shakiness. However, it is on my phone, because there's no way I can rip the camera otherwise. The brakes are feeling very, very sturdy, I'd say. Good job on the brakes. I'm running drilled, well, front drilled Brembo's stock, well, yeah, they're performance brakes, but the stock size, with HR brake pads, and the rear stock discs and HR pads stock as well for the car. Let's hit some country roads. Nothing. I'll launch it. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Span. say it's pretty fast.
Bridgestone tyres and rear, or their summer tyres, and rear I'm running season good years, just in case, because I had to go to Scotland to pick up the E60 and it was pissing down with rain and snow on the way there, and I had wood front tyres. Without those rears, I don't know what would have happened. Service the car. It'll be quicker. But I'd say the kickdown on this is pretty damn spot on. I'm not slamming the brakes because I don't want to wear them out in one drive, however, it is absolutely insane the way this car drives now. Well, with the brakes, suspension's perfect because I had it replaced half a year ago, so I'm not too fussed about that. It's not bad. Kick down. Red light at least, because that's what cars are for. They have a red light for a reason. If you don't hit it, you know, the thing is with diesels, you need to rev them high sometimes to get all the carbon deposits out of the engine. That's my fuel light. Whoop. Fuel light on. Let's go. That's what I like to see. Coolant temps are looking very good actually. That's good. That's the positive of the drive. That's what the test drive was for.
Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to get notified about new uploads.